Welcome to Cardamone Law University, translating the Pennsylvania Workers' Compensation Act into plain English for injured workers. It's Mike Cardamone here, and today I wanted to talk about Pennsylvania workers' comp settlements, and specifically the concept of timing and when is the best time to settle a Pennsylvania workers' comp case. Before we get into some of the details, you want to remember that you should get an attorney on your side. And although we say this over and over and over, it's just the truth. You're going to end up netting a lot more money, even with the 20% attorney's fee. The statistics are clear on this, so make sure you don't do this alone. The insurance company's job is to settle every case for as little as possible. Let me repeat that because a lot of people don't understand that. Their job is to settle every case for as little as possible. And commensurate with that, to pay as little benefits as possible prior to a settlement, whether that's wage loss or indemnity, which is wage loss benefits. So you want to keep this in mind. And if you think you're going to get a good result on your own, you're probably mistaken in about 98, 99% of the time. So make sure you get a certified workers' comp attorney. You can call me anytime you want. You don't have to pay us any money out of your pocket. It's a contingent fee system in Pennsylvania. And I'll remind you of our phone number. It's 215-206-9068. That's 215-206-9068. So when is the best time to settle a case? The short answer is when the parties, that is the claimant and the insurance carrier, are willing, ready, and able to settle the case. In most instances, that will be when the injured worker has reached what's called MMI, or maximum medical improvement. That's a situation where basically your condition has plateaued, and the doctor will say you're not really expected to get worse, but you're probably not going to get better. This is something you have to live with and just manage. For example, if you have a back injury and you tried therapy and injections and ultimately had surgery, and you had post-surgical physical therapy, about 9 to 12 months after surgery, you'll probably hit MMI, where you're not going to really get any better or any worse at that point. That would be a good time to settle a case. Why? Because you don't have any more surgery on the horizon, presumably, and there's not really much else they can do for you medically. And also at that point, you're probably going to have undergone what's called an independent medical exam. So the insurance company knows what their doctor's opinions are, as well as the treating doctor's opinions with respect to what kind of work you can do. So that's the answer for a lot of cases, but not all of them. Sometimes a client, an injured worker, has to settle a case early because they're in a financial predicament. And we might tell them, hey, the case is worth X amount of dollars. And they might say, listen, I respect your opinion, but I need to settle this case, and I'll take even less. I need to settle it. I'm in a hole, or I have a problem, or whatever. So sometimes we have to settle these prematurely, but patience pays off, and you want to really listen to your attorney. We get a lot of calls from injured workers who are being represented by other law firms, and sometimes it appears the case is being handled just fine, and the injured worker is just frustrated at the fact that their case is worth, a certain amount of dollars or in a certain range, and perhaps they're looking for somebody to tell them what they want to hear. And other times, the firms, they don't have a good handle on what they're doing. They might just be dabbling in workers' comp and not really handle a lot of cases. We usually tell people to try to work it out with their attorney. And if they can't, then they can, hire us if we're willing to take their case. So a lot of people get frustrated because in workers' comp, you don't have pain and suffering damages. Okay, so it's not a fault-based system like personal injury. And as a consequence, the settlements are really tied to your loss of earning power. The future medical, that has some value, but not as much as most people think. It's really the biggest component here is your wage loss check and how much that is, and also the nature of your disability, and how long you're going to be projected to be out of work for, and what's your residual earning capacity. If you made $1,000 at the time of the work injury, but the insurance company has a credible vocational opinion that you can now earn $500 a week, and they win a petition on that issue, they'll have to pay 2/3 of the difference. And so you'll be down at a much lower check, and that will lower the settlement value. So, but going back to the big picture, you really, in most cases, the best time to settle is when the medical treatment is sort of settled down and there's not too much on the horizon. But again, there are exceptions, and one of those could be, if you're in a financial predicament or something like that. So each case is unique. It's just like real estate. Every piece of property is unique. The same thing can be said with a workers' comp case. And the last thing you want to do is compare your case to a neighbor or a friend. Pardon me. I can't tell you how many times we've received phone calls from our clients or prospective clients who say, "Well, my friend, he settled his case for $200,000, and I have to sort of cross-examine them and say, well, how much was their average weekly wage? Well, I don't know. What was their nature of their disability and their diagnoses? I don't know. Do they need surgery? I don't know. Who was their doctor? I don't know. Who was the IME doctor? I don't know. Who was the judge presiding over any of their petitions? I don't know. What's their education level? I don't know. Has a vocational evaluation been done? I don't know. What about an impairment rating evaluation?" So when you start going down these questions, you realize that every case is different. You cannot compare your case to somebody else's because everybody has their own factors involved. So this is just a brief summary. We could probably speak about Pennsylvania workers' comp settlements for a week straight. But I just wanted to pass along some of the basic concepts here in terms of the timing. If you have any questions, again, call us 215-206-9068, or you can email me directly. I'm a certified workers' comp specialist in Pennsylvania. That's Michael at cardamonelaw.com. So MICHAEL at CARDAMONELAW.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon from Cardamone Law University.